Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
And hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Golf with Gary. It's episode number 161 of Talking Golf as we come to the end of April and head first into May 1st, which will be tomorrow as we record this episode. Hope everyone had a good week and a healthy week. And as we've been saying for quite some time, there's a lot of playoffs in golf and a lot of first-time guys winning tournaments. I guess that means that there's a lot of parity. There's not that one dominant player such as Tiger Woods, and Tiger's not back to his old form as of yet, dominating and may never be. And we may be waiting around for that dominating player to come about. So in the meantime, there are a lot of fine, good players, young players that are all vying for spots and for first-time victories. And we used to call them journeyman, I guess, years ago, but they've raised their craft and have studied hard and worked hard. And one of those guys is Jason Dufner, and he beat Ernie Els yesterday with a birdie on the second hole of a playoff in his Zurich Classic to win for the first time in 164 starts on the PGA Tour. After entering the fourth round with a two-shot lead, Dufner shot a 2-under-70 at TPC Louisiana. Els had a 67 to match Dufner at 19-under 269. After both players missed birdie putts within 8 feet on a par 5 18th, they went back to the 18th tee for the second extra hole, which Dufner won by hitting the green in 2 strokes and tapping home a short birdie putt after Els' birdie attempt from the fringe narrowly missed. Dufner lost playoffs last year to Mark Wilson in the Phoenix Open and Keegan Bradley in the PGA Championship for 2 of his 3 career runner-up finishes. Yesterday on the second playoff hole, Els' tee shot went into a fairway bunker and his second shot landed 137 yards from the pin. His third shot landed on the fringe nearly 19 feet from the pin, but he nearly saved birdie from there, his putt missing by 2 inches. Dufner then made his birdie putt from less than 2 feet and in his typical low-key way briefly raised both arms to acknowledge the cheering crowd before casually walking off the green to accept some congratulatory hugs. Luke Donald shot a 67 to finish third at 17 under and moved past Rory McIlroy for the number 1 ranking in the world. Defending Zurich Classic champ Bubba Watson, playing for the first time since a life-changing win at the Masters over Easter weekend, entered the final round 8 shots off the lead. He was unable to mount a charge after bogeys on his first 2 holes. He wound up tied for 18th at 11 under, a solid outing by most standards, but one of his worst finishes of the year. And Ernie Els is no small guy to beat in a playoff. I mean, he is a former majors champion. He's got 2 or 3 of them under his belt, so it was a good win for Dufner. And in a way, a victory for Els, as he's been struggling the last couple of years and had a pretty good Masters. Has been in contention a couple of times over this past year and might just be on the way back to a higher standard of play than he has in the last few years. And Stacey Lewis won the Mobile Bay LPGA Classic for her second LPGA Tour title, holding off charging teen Lexi Thompson by a stroke. Lewis, who held a 5-stroke lead early in the day, reclaimed the edge with a birdie on number 16, while the 17-year-old Thompson parred the final hole and had to wait. Lewis parred out, and her week was so solid that her finishing 3 under 69 was her worst round en route to a 17 under 271 total. The former Arkansas star also won the 2011 Kraft Nabisco Championship. Thompson found redemption from her final round fall in Mobile a year ago. She didn't flinch under the pressure given a second shot, closing with rounds of 66 and 65, tying her career low in a bogey-free round. Lewis secured the win with a 2-putt par from the edge of the green. Karine Eicher of France closed with a 68 to finish third, 2 strokes back. Lewis spent her teen years in a back brace with scoliosis, then had surgery that corrected her spine with 5 screws and a steel rod. So it's even amazing that she's playing golf at this level. She birdied holes 15 and 17 each of the past 2 days when she was a combined 9 under on the back 9. Bernd Wiesberger of Austria shot a final round 4 under 68 to earn his first European Tour victory with a 5-stroke win at the Ballantyne's Championship on Sunday. The 26-year-old Wiesberger made 4 birdies on his way to claiming the win to become only the 3rd Austrian to win the European Tour after Marcus Breyer and Martin Weigel. Wiesberger finished at 18 under, 5 strokes ahead of Richie Ramsey of Scotland, who shot a 65 to equal the course record. Victor Dubuisson, who had led after the first round, finished 3rd alongside Australian Marcus Fraser. Another Australian, Adam Scott, the highest-ranked player at the event at number 12 in the world, finished 12th after shooting 65. Wiesberger went 55 holes without dropping a shot during the tournament after making a double bogey on the number 13 par 3 in his first round. His victory gives him his European Tour playing card until the end of 2014. Englishman Ian Poulter tied for 15th with a 281, as did Y.E. Yang. Paul Casey continued to step up his comeback from a shoulder injury and finished 25th at 5 under, finishing 1 under for the day. Spaniard Miguel Angel Jimenez managed his first top 5 finish of the season after finishing at 10 under. Luke List eagled the 13th hole to jump into the lead and later made a birdie to help secure a 2-stroke victory at the South Georgia Classic. List, the longest hitter on the Nationwide Tour, won on the longest course on that tour. List had bogeyed the 12th hole to fall behind, but his strong closing stretch allowed him to earn his first career Nationwide Tour win. He carded a 4 under 68 to finish at 16 under 272. Brian Stewart finished a 6 under 66 on Sunday at the Kindaloo Forest Golf Club, but started the round too far back and took second at minus 14. The victory was a long time in the making for List, who had been close to winning before. Prior to Sunday, he had 6 career top 10s, including a pair of runner-up finishes. One of those came in early March at the Panama Claro Championship, where he was 1 of 4 tied for second behind Edward Lohr. The 27-year-old victory was a convincing one. He came up with crucial shots down the stretch while many of his competitors faltered. Woody Austin, who shared the 3rd round lead with List, stumbled to a 1 over 73 after carding 3 bogeys on the back 9. Austin finished in 3rd place at 11 under 277. Will McKenzie had perhaps the most stunning fall. He was alone in first after making a birdie at the 10th, which put him at 15 under. But a bogey at 11, a double bogey at 12, and a triple bogey at the 18th sent him to the clubhouse with a 73. McKenzie shared 7th place with 3 others at minus 1. And Rosie Jones won the Legend Tour's season-opening Walgreens Charity Classic on Sunday, finishing with a 4 under 68 for a two-stroke victory over Elaine Crosby in the 36-hole event. The 52-year-old Jones, a 13-time LPGA winner, who captained the losing U.S. Solheim Team Cup last year, had a 5 under 139 total on the Grandview golf course. Crosby also closed with a 68. Lisa Lott Newman and Jan Stevenson tied for second at 2 under. Newman shot a 69 and Stevenson had a 70. So the Legends of the LPGA Tour had an event going on this week, and it looks like their season will be starting up also. And that kind of wraps up the recap for this week, and we're going to take a break and be back right after these messages. For all the listeners of Talking Golf with Gary, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. Over 75,000 titles to choose from in many different categories, including science fiction, mysteries, biographies, sports, computers, you name it, they have it. To download your free audiobook today, go to audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary. Again, that's audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary for your free audiobook today. You can now hear our show while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. On-demand news, talk, and more on your mobile phone. The latest episode is always available for you. No syncing needed and no memory or storage wasted. Available for your iPhone, Android phone, WebOS phone, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out your app store. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Milwaukee Brewers and National League Central news and notes. BrewtownSports.podomatic.com.
And don't forget, if you'd like to write the show, we have an email address, and that address is talkinggolf@gmail.com. We also have a voicemail line if you'd like to give us a call, and that's 516-619-6341. 516-619-6341. Or, once again, talkinggolf@gmail.com. And in other golf news, asked on Golf Channel's Morning Drive about advice to U.S. Ryder Cup captain Davis Love III, Hal Sutton basically told Love to stay out of the way. I don't know that guys are following anyone but their own selves today. We live in a pretty selfish world. It's not a criticism. In my mind, that's a fact, said Sutton, the 2004 captain. In order to be a leader, you've got to understand that from the beginning. These guys don't want to follow anybody. The hard part about being a captain is you're the greatest guy in the world if you win, and did the worst job in the world if you lose, and you never hit a shot. And with golf, I think there's more to it than that. Sutton's 2004 team lost to the Europeans 18.5 to 9.5. The competition is remembered for Sutton pairing Tiger Woods with Phil Mickelson. When Rich Beem won the 2002 PGA Championship at Hazeltine, he received a 10-year exemption on the European Tour. He never used it because he didn't need it until now. Beam's only status on the PGA Tour is as a past champion, and sponsor exemptions have been limited. In the last year of his exemption in Europe, he took up membership and is having more fun than he imagined. His results so far have not been great. Beam missed the cut in his first 3 events, the Jahrberg Open and the Lucia Open and the Hassan Trophy in Morocco, before he tied for 11th 2 weeks ago in Italy at the Sicilian Open. He plays the Spanish Open next week, then gears up for 7 tournaments in 8 weeks, in which he will play in England, Wales, Sweden, Germany, Ireland, France, and Scotland. The events he has played in continental Europe are not among the top events, and thus the galleries have been a bit sparse. He figures that will change when Europe gets to the meat of its schedule this summer, and every tournament is no more than a short flight from London. Beam isn't sure where this will lead. The worst case scenario is that he tries to go through 2 stages of PGA Tour qualifying school and tries to get his card back, or he could play great and work his way toward the top 50 in the world. And speaking of the Europeans, the course at Royal Lytham and St. Anne's has been lengthened by 181 yards for this year's British Open, with all but 2 holes having been altered since the last time the tournament was held there in 2001. Royal and Ancient Chief Executive Peter Dawson said that the total length of the course has increased to 7,086 yards, but that it will remain a par 70. Dawson said the biggest changes were made to the 7th, 10th, and 11th holes. The 10th is 52 yards longer compared to 11 years ago, while number 7 is 35 yards longer and has a completely new green. The 11th now measures 592 yards, 56 yards longer than the last time. The only holes that have not been changed are the par 4 4th and the par 3 12th. And budding LPGA star Lexi Thompson, who finished second this week, needs a date for her high school prom. The 17-year-old Thompson has posted a YouTube video inviting young military men 18 to 20 years of age to make a bid to be her date by sending their qualifications to her Facebook page. Lexi will even take care of the details and provide a free transportation to Fort Lauderdale. And Esther Cho won for the second straight week on a Symetra Tour, shooting a 4 under 69 on Sunday for a 6-stroke victory in the Riviera Nayarit Classic. Cho, based in Scottsdale, had a 12 under 207 at the El Tigre Golf and Country Club and earned $18,750. She was coming off a victory in the Sarah Bay Classic in Sarasota, Florida. Jean Chu from Malaysia and Ginger Howitt from Braden in Florida tied for second. Chu had a 68 and Howitt a 69. The LPGA Tour Developmental Series was previously known as the Futures Tour. And that's the end of the news, and let's move on to birthdays.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday! Celebration anew! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
Well, we don't have any April 30th birthdays, but tomorrow, on May the 1st, Stuart Appleby will celebrate his 41st birthday. And on May the 4th, Bob Tway turns 53. And Rory McIlroy, now the number 2 player in the world, turns 23. And on May the 6th, Tim Simpson turns 47 years old. And that'll do it for the birthdays, and let's move on.
Now it's time to do the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar. Oh, hooray, let's sing the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar.
And here are the events for next week on the calendar. The PGA Tour has the Wells Fargo Championship, and Lucas Glover is the defending champion at that. And the LPGA Tour is off next week, but the Champions Tour is in action, and they'll be playing the Insperity Championship, where Brad Faxon was the 2011 winner. And the nationwide tour is in action at the Stadium Classic at UGA, and Russell Henley defends there. And the European tour is also in action as they play the Real Seguros Open de España, where Thomas Aiken will defend. And finally tonight, a fan who came to the Zurich Classic in New Orleans to watch newly minted Masters champion Bubba Watson got hit by an errant drive off the club of Bubba Watson. Rad Leonard of Baton Rouge was on the second hole at TPC Louisiana, watching one of Bubba's big booming hooks that kept booming and kept hooking right into the back of his head as he ducked away. The ball rebounded into the fairway even as Leonard began bleeding all over the place. And from there, a new chapter in Bubba lore. Watson signed a glove for Leonard, while his caddy requested that Leonard angle his head next time to allow the ball to fly a little farther down the fairway. Of course, he was joking about that. Leonard's shirt was stained with blood, but Zurich Classic folks gave him a shirt, conveniently colored red, and Leonard then proceeded to follow Watson around the front nine. "I'll be all right," Leonard told the AP. "As long as I didn't black out, I figured everything was okay. And all will be okay as long as Leonard doesn't start jumping in front of Watson's car or anything similar to that." And that's going to wrap it up for this week. I hope everybody has a great week. And as we said, the Wells Fargo Championship is on tap. And be sure to check that one out. And we'll see you next week with episode 162 of Talking Golf with Gary. Until then, have a great night, and we'll see you then. Good night, everybody.